We're gonna play the US version. Yeah, the leaderboard of IOG is great. There's tons of great names on it. Okay, now for something not completely different. Yes, Drumboardist. We are doing a US Soul Blazer because it turned out to be the preferred version by the runners. Even though there is no solid reason for that, because the Japanese version is just faster by about 8 to 9 minutes, due to faster text and slightly faster bosses. But US is just the one that is run the most, so I would just run that one. It's the one I end up preparing for. I'm also more used to running US because some bosses have different patterns, and I don't remember exactly what my strat is for Japanese. I remember the US strats much better. Yes, for the end credits you're gonna get a different Lisa face. Okay, thanks for the good luck, Katmanakt. We are going to play Soul Blazer, the first game of the Soul Blazer trilogy. And this one is quite different, very different gameplay from IOG. Well, it's a less recent game. It's like 2 years older than IOG. The timer starts at the end of the first cutscene. Basically, we are some sort of angel sent from God to restore all the creatures who have disappeared. How should we call ourselves? Like SNES Star or whatever? Maybe with lowercase. This is going to make the run a bit slower, though, because usually you would want to call yourself with a one-letter word, but this is a marathon SNES Super Stars, so we have to honor that. Alright, go and save the world for all the creatures. We are going! The first room is a tutorial room. It tells you how the game is played, pretty much. So what we end up doing most of the time is beating enemies from these pink vortexes, which are called monster lairs. So that's where enemies come from. Every time you finish beating all the enemies from a monster lair, the monster lair explodes, and you can seal it by stepping on it. And when you seal a monster lair, something happens. Like it will either restore the life of a villager, of a person, an animal, a machine, whatever, or it can make a change in the place you are currently visiting, like create a door in the dungeon, for instance. So this is Grass Valley, the first village, and it's completely void, and there's nobody there because everybody has been. Every soul in the world has been sold to an evil creature. So that's the plot of the game. So first thing to do in this game, multitasking. So I'm dealing with two monster lairs at the same time, killing enemies from one and using magic against the enemies from the other. But I can't do that forever because magic costs gems, the gems that you can see on the top right. And there I finished that monster lair, but I did not seal it yet because the game will memorize that it's still it's been finished. And I know that I will have to come back here later in the game, so I will seal it then. So I did not need to wait for it to explode. I could already go on my way and save a couple seconds. So multitasking is key in a lot of areas in here. Like here, I'm gonna kill one enemy, spawn the second, spawn enemy, kill this guy, spawn the next, kill this guy, kill another, kill with magic, spawn, and there's only one left here. And I will kill the last enemy from the other monster lair as I come back up. And kill. And that's done. That was multitasking. was done pretty well. In the chest I got the Dream Rod, which is going to be used moments later. It's already equipped, because if you paid attention in my last menu, I equipped the Fireball magic and also moved my cursor in the inventory menu. And I moved the cursor to the place where the Dream Rod is supposed to be. Oh, I'm dumb. That didn't work. Okay, I moved back and forth there to spawn some of these enemies. Oh, I was very close to getting a zombie lair seal, like dying on a monster lair that you're supposed to seal. But I killed the blue blob. It was really close. But it's very difficult to get. It's kind of random because the blue blob takes a random amount of time to get to start chasing you. So now that we have done this place, we can just die. We die even more in this game than we do in IOG. So yeah, to explain you a little bit more the mechanics of how I kill stuff. This is a dungeon crawler where you can swing your sword, like in a Zelda game for instance, but you can also crab walk, that's how it's called in the game. It's strafing, with your sword held up. And when you do that, your sword will be hitting constantly at the maximum possible DPS. Unfortunately, it will do the lowest possible damage, like 1 damage. But since I am level 1 anyway, my attack power is 1, so doing sword slashes will also do just 1 damage. So there's not much of a point in doing sword slashes compared to just doing pokes. So in the beginning of the game I will do a lot of pokes because it's just as good in terms of damage. And it increases by DPS because my sword is constantly hitting. So there I sealed the monster lair that I left before. Let's kill that and get a gem. Okay, and there's a lot of monster lairs that we're not gonna do because this is an any-person run. I will just release the people I need to release to progress through the game. There's a lot which are not needed, so we won't do them. Oh, that was nice. That was a pretty nice big gem drop. It's worth 10. Big gems are very rare in early game, so it's kind of nice that we got them. Having a lot of gems at the end of this section is going to speed up things because I will be able to kill monsters with magic, which is more efficient. Especially since you can, well, kill with magic at a distance. And last one. Okay, 24 gems, great. Okay, and I haven't taken a lot of damage. Might as well kill these things. That gives me some experience. Oops. And here going on the top is longer, but faster. Funnily enough, taking some damage to prepare for my upcoming suicide. 1. Oh, I missed it. 2. 3. 4. And spawn the last one. And I'm taking damage at the same time, which is efficient. Okay, good. That was the last guy. Yeah, I have 91 experience, that's good. If I get lucky, I can still get 3 more experience before the next death warp. Well, the one after this. Let's die to come back. Now we can speak to Lisa. Well, not exactly speak to her, but get in her dream. Because she's sleeping and we have the Dream Rod. And it's equipped already because I moved the cursor to the Dream Rod spot. So I can already get into her dream. And somehow this dream is going to open up another portion of the dungeon where we need to get a new item. That item is it's Dr. Leo's brush, which is required to get into Dr. Leo's painting, and that will be the next dungeon. Get out of my house! Sorry for yelling at you. Please come back and listen to my story. LOL, nope! I'm sorry, lady. I have other things to do. This is a speedrun. And let's go back to the dungeon 1/3 time. That will be the last time. And we just need to collect the brush and die. So I will be taking some damage on the way. Come on. And here's the brush. It needs to be equipped. Sometimes you need to equip a thing, sometimes you don't. You have to know. Yeah, I just took one experience. Another death. Oh my god, I'm so bad at this game. I've died 3 times already. Oh my god. And let's go to the old man's house where the painting is, and we can get into the painting. And now I have level 2 because I got 100 experience points. So now I'm going to start slashing my sword. Because every second level, every other level will give you one attack point. And the other levels will give you 1 defense point. So now I have 2 attack points. So it's better to do soul slashes than pokes. Because the pokes will still do 1 damage, but the soul slashes now do 2. And also you might have noticed my placement when I attack enemies with soul slashes. I try to be sort of diagonally placed with respect to their position, so that it turns out that my character is right-handed, regardless of where he's looking. His sprite is actually not mirrored. When you're looking left or right, the sprite is not the same, which is pretty cool. It's a nice touch. And when you are doing a slash, the place where your sword ends up is going to hit twice, because it stays there for a little bit longer. And that's just enough time to hit twice. Okay, and now I'm going to try to hit these guys with magic, because I have tons of magic. One more. Okay, I can take a damage, I have enough health. There's tons of enemies I can't kill, like these metal enemies which go ding when I try to hit them. You're supposed to come back later to kill them with a stronger weapon. We will not do that in any person though. Let's not forget to equip the herb I just got. And I could kill those guys with magic, but there's no point to it, because this spawner, this monster lair is a multi-spawn. It means that there's just a certain delay between 2 spawns, so I just need to kill the last one ultimately, which is this one. It's the 8th one. Counting enemies is very important. Okay, now I'm gonna need to focus a bit. Oh! Okay, that was kind of bad. I took 1 more damage, but still I managed to kill him before he dies. Before I died. So yeah, the strategy for the speedrun on this first boss is basically a damage race. You try to poke at him constantly by being on a conveyor belt, so you have to push back regularly in order to not be connecting with the boss himself. Otherwise you take constant damage and you die. So yeah, it's basically a damage race where you have to poke and be kind of precise with your movement. It takes a bit to get used to. It's not so bad when you know the strat well. So now that we have beaten the boss, we restored the mayor of the village, and he gives us our first MacGuffin, the brownstone. So there are 6 stones in the game, and when we have recovered all 6 stones, we'll be able to go to the World of Evil and go to the end of the game. So you guessed it, there's going to be 5 more acts where we have to release 5 more village chiefs and get the other stones. That's how the game works. So now we can go through God, and he will make us travel to the next area. Yeah, God is actually called the Master in the Western versions, because yeah, all the religious references were censored. It's exactly the same way with ActRaiser, which was made by the same devs, by the way. Yeah, here he's called the Master, but he's God in the Japanese version. Yeah, I'm waiting for the second bush enemy to spawn in the top right corner. Kill these guys and trying to get lucky with gems. I got a medium gem, that's fine. Oh! Okay, good. That took 3 hits, but I managed to kill them all. So now that monster lair on the top right is closed, because I killed all the enemies. So I will be able to steal it, but it's gonna be much later. These enemies are extremely finicky. They move randomly after being spawned, and if you are close to them, they will extend their branch and try to hit you, and during that, they are invincible. So you have to just wait. So that's why I stand close to them, so that I force them into doing the branch thing before, so they become vulnerable again sooner. Okay, take a damage here to spawn one of these enemies sooner. Let's take another medical herb, which is already equipped, because the cursor in the inventory menu is already there, is already on the herb. So this herb is already equipped. But the effect of the herb I did not explain. It is to heal you completely when you die. So that's convenient. That's how I managed to survive the boss previously. I had a herb equipped, so that's how I could win the damage race. Okay, here I have to count enemies to be efficient. 2. Spawn 3, 1. 4, 2. 5. 6. 7. 8. If you count enemies, you can step on the monster lair when you know that it's about to be destroyed. Oh, almost. That was almost great. Okay, here we need to release another crocodile and a sleepy bird. We'll go into his dream, and we'll get another item we need to progress. So in this second act, there's going to be 3 sanctuaries or shrines. So first the water shrine that we are in currently. Next is going to be the fire shrine, and after that the light shrine. And the boss is in the light shrine. Not much happening here. There's a lot of monster lairs that I don't need to do, so I just skip them. Let's kill this with magic. Okay, good. There's 8 enemies in this. Ah, and there I was lucky, because he moved downwards, and as he's blocked by an obstacle, yeah, again, cool. He becomes vulnerable right away. Wow, 3rd one, that's lucky. 4th one, super lucky. Okay, not so lucky. That was the last one. But still, 4 out of 8 which moved down, that's very good luck. Saved a couple seconds. Here you stand there, tank the damage from the scorpion, and I want to deal with these 2 monsters there, and also when I have some free time, go up 1 tile to spawn the fire monsters from the monster lair on the top left. So now all 3 of them are spawned, so I will be able to take them off with magic. Kind of ironic that I'm killing fire guys with fire, but whatever, it works, so I do it. Here, kill these guys. And finish this. Win the race with the scorpion. I won the race, that's good. And now disappearing lizards. They disappear randomly, so you have to read them by seeing how they are oriented, because they make their choice just before they disappear, well, just before they teleport. Okay, that was pretty lucky. I did not have to move a lot. So this is the other crocodile. We just need the bird and also a mole to get the full set for an item. And now let's go to the basement of the fire shrine, which is the most dangerous place of this shrine. And we are going to do our first technically non-required lair. It's not required, but it's so good, it's so useful that you do it. Even in the tasks, I did it when I made the task for this game. Because this monster lair is going to release a crystal fairy, which will give us the second magic in the game. And the second magic turns out to be the best, or arguably, but probably, light arrow. Basically, it shoots a projectile in 4 directions. It costs 8 gems, so it's twice as costly as the fireball, but it does more damage and shoots in all 8 directions. Oh, he went up. He went up. Please come back down. Come back down. The one on the other island. That's very unlucky. I was supposed to try to... Oh, he come back. And he goes back up. What a troll. I want to hit him with magic as I'm fighting these guys, but I got unlucky. I could not even try. You can save a lot of time if you manage to kill several of these lizards at the same time you're fighting the other ones. Oh my god, that's so trolly. I'm trying to not be hit too much, because the bridges hurt me when I pass on them when they are on fire. Okay, that was the last one. But that's why the herb is for. I took the herb, so I'm gonna use it. I still haven't used it actually. Cool, whatever. Here I used it. Let's go here, so I spawn these enemies. This is a multi-spawn, so again, only the last kill needs to be optimized. Yeah, it's a thing I haven't really discussed yet, but there's basically 3 types of monster lairs in this game. There's the 1-by-1 spawners, so an enemy is spawned, then you have to kill it for the next enemy to spawn, so each kill needs to be optimal. Then there are the multi-spawners, where enemies get spawned with a certain amount of time between spawns. So there's a spawn rate. So there, in those ones, you don't really need to each kill to be optimal, as long as the last one is optimal. And there's also the already there lairs, where monsters are already placed in the map when you load the map, like the metal enemies in the previous dungeon, in the previous world. But those ones are extremely rare. There's like it's like 1%. Need to equip the dream rod so we can go into this little bird's dream. And hey, Turbo! Turbo is the dog who is in all 3 games of the trilogy. You might not have noticed him in the Illusion Gaia because he was... we saw it very briefly on the screen. In Illusion Gaia, it was the dog of the doctor who rescues you after the rafting sequence when you get when you have scurvy. You wake up in at the doctor's, and this doctor has a dog called Turbo, so that's where Turbo is in IOG. Turbo is barely useful at all in IOG. Here he gives you a useful item. The item I just got is the greenwood leaves, and that's like his symbol. So I can use the greenwood leaves so that these rafts will let me on and lead me to the light shrine. Oh, and another thing you have to know, you don't need to equip the greenwood leaf. You have to know which items have to be equipped and which don't. Okay, cool strat. Kill this guy, spawn next fire guy, attract these ghosts, and now kill everything! Doesn't matter if I take damage. And the last guys. That was the last one. And there we go, we just dealt with 5 monster lairs in a row. So that's a pretty cool strategy. It's actually kind of easy to do. And the damage I take is really not relevant because... Oh dang. I took a level up and then I got hit by the sun. That's fine. But yeah, I was about to say, taking damage on the strat with all the monsters, it's fine because I was about to take a new level up. Yeah, there's one last enemy. And level ups heal you fully in this game, which is very convenient. Okay, now I'm going to try another manipulation strat, which is kind of complex to do. I'm going to go on this grey tile on the top left 6 times. 2. Oh, dude. 3. In order to spawn some enemies that you cannot see yet. They're on the top left. And I want to spawn them so slow, so fast that they don't have enough time to move out of the position. Was that 5, I guess? 6. 6, okay. I might have miscounted, let's see. Oh yeah, I probably miscounted. There's one which escaped, but I still managed to kill 5 of them out of 6. That's still fine, but it was not perfect. Okay, here you're supposed to talk to a mole who gives you the power to see, or to light up your way. Like to have a circle of light around your magician's orb. But we did not do that because we don't really need to have light here. We are speedrunners, we know what we're doing most of the time. But here there's 8 enemies, but usually I don't need to count them because I know that when this sun passes, I'm fighting the last one. So this was the last one. It's a nice little thing. I'm not going to do the real speedrun strat of not spawning the teleporter right away because I have taken a lot of damage, so I'm just not going to take that chance. Oh, there's one more. Okay, that was the last one. Okay. Yeah, that takes time because in the real speedrun strats, I would just have killed the 4th enemy and walked on my way without having to wait until I destroy the monster lair. I would have already been starting to move out of there. And there it's a bit finicky to reach the door to the boss, so you have to kind of know. Otherwise you would be stuck in a box or some, of walls. Here you have to manipulate these enemies into doing what you want. First one is easy, the second one is a bit trickier. That was not good. Alright. Yeah, I could take some damage for the last one to speed it up slightly. That was not even sub 26, it's not great. But yeah, that light shrine was kind of meh. I messed up several things. It's possible to get to low 25 and here. I'm already like almost a full minute behind my PB. Well, almost. But yeah, Greenwood is very dependent on luck for gems and other luck factors, and also playing well. I was unlucky with the fire shrine with the lizards on the other island because I could not kill any with magic, so that would have also saved some time. And now, second MacGuffin is in our pocket. 4 to go. Oh, there's another factor that is going to slow us down a little bit. As I said at the beginning, my name has 8 characters, and it takes 3 frames per character every time text is being drawn out on the screen. So I lose 21 frames every time my name is displayed, which amounts to about 40 seconds in the whole game for any person. So by having an 8-character name instead of 1 character, I'm already losing 40 seconds compared to a normal any person, but well, who cares? This was not going to be a world record anyway. Okay, I can take damage. I have 92 gems. Okay, let's not kill too many things. I don't want to trigger level ups too early. Here, kill both stones, that's good. Kill. Oh, come on. Kill this rock. Kill that one. Yeah, good thing I had a lot of gems. Yeah, I still don't have any armor. Yeah, a little bit of waiting. Waited a couple frames to spawn the third palm tree enemy. 5, 6. Whee! That was pretty nice. And press against the wall to change the center of rotation of my magician's orb. To put it off center so I could target all 3 of these guys at once. And there I had some remaining magic so I could kill the last enemy of this multi-spawner to be a bit more efficient. Oh, I realized I forgot to take damage. I was supposed to take damage here. This is gonna be long. Well, it's fine. It's not gonna be that long, I think. I'm so bad. Okay, that's fine. Still faster than walking back. So now we have rescued the mermaid who gives us the bubble armor. So we're gonna get the bubble armor, but we're not gonna equip it yet. Because we want to still take damage from the seabed. Because we can't breathe, so we're taking constant damage. Waiting a bit to take a 7th damage, because that's optimal. That's a bit more optimal than taking damage by these guys. Oh, I got a big gem. That's the last one, right? Yeah. Okay, I took damage, so I could be at 1 health instead of 2. So that when I get healed from this monster there, I only get back 2, which gives me 3. And it turns out that the bubble from this fish does 3 damage. So if I had had 4 HP, I would have needed 2 hits to die, which would have been slightly less efficient, even though the difference is just a few frames. Okay, so the gimmick of this world is we're going to visit some islands, and on every island we need to rescue a mermaid statue. And when we speak to the mermaid statue, it will release the path to the next island. And there's going to be a total of 4 of these mermaid statues. So now we're fighting jellyfishes, or jellyfish, not sure, jellyfish. There's 8 of them, and their pattern is not obvious to explain. They will go towards us when they are no further than 1 tile away from being aligned horizontally or vertically. And I guess that's how it works. So if they are aligned with us, or at most 1 tile away from being aligned, they will dash towards the hero. So by doing the placement as I just did, I can manipulate them a little bit. I want to have this guy with me because I'm sorry, Silver Star, I am gonna take the herb. I'm sorry for all the guys who are good at this game, like Elmagus, who always criticizes me for taking the herb here, but I still do in marathon runs and races. Because I can't guarantee being lucky in the next area. Maybe I should have killed some of them with magic. I have a lot of magic. Oh well. Oh well. Triple shot. Second bird. 1, 2. Oh, dude. Just die. Thank you. Yeah, I killed those birds to get this herb. it's gonna be potentially useful in the next area. You're not supposed to take it. That's a safety from for marathons. I don't have enough magic. Oh, I might die then. Okay. Dang it! I wanted to turn around. I did not realize I did not have magic. Well, maybe I should have used the herb there. Well, this stopped being a good run. I have to come back now and get there. Get the mermaid statue. Oh, that was so unfortunate. I was supposed to have magic to kill the what's they called, the palm trees, but I didn't. So I kept taking too much damage until I had enough gems. I didn't realize. Well, that's a rip. I will still have the herb though. The herb is for the next area. That's where I will be using it. That's what it's meant for. Here I was just supposed to take damage to Death Warp after getting the... Oh, this is gonna be bad because I'm gonna have level 8, right? Okay. Of course I get level 8 just now. Of course I do. Holy cow, this is so bad. Yeah, this completely throws off the whole strategy. And it's a really terrible death that I took. So I'm removing my armor to die more quickly. Yeah, the palm trees was not supposed to wreck me as much because they were supposed to die immediately with magic, but I did not have magic. Yeah, that's an uncommon mistake. I'm not used to have no magic there. Yeah, that's because I missed several shots when I was trying to kill the rocks. But yeah, unintended consequences. And the problem is, now I have level 8, so I cannot count on the level up to heal myself. So every bit of damage I'm going to take in the next fights is going to count more. Like these two are going to count. Usually they don't count. Yeah, this is my placement. You can place yourself in a bunch of ways. I still want to. I did not get the gems. Oh, nice gems. Dude, come here. Oh, there's one more. Well, at least we got pretty lucky with gems. Yeah, 34 is nice luck. Like, yeah, already 4 damage. Yeah, good thing I took that herb because it might end up being useful, being really useful. When things happen correctly, when things go right, you usually don't need that herb. It's usually for very bad luck. But now that I have some prior hits going into Durian, Volcanic Island, might end up being useful. Okay, let's attract the second guy. So now I've finished the monster lair on the right. So yeah, the reason why I want a herb here is because well, this is a volcanic island. There's a volcano at the center, which is constantly shooting falling rocks randomly, and sometimes you just take a lot of damage. You usually survive. Survival is not really a problem, but the last monster lair that I'm gonna have to seal is on a bed of lava, and I will need to cross that lava and take a lot of damage. So I need to have taken very little damage to be able to afford taking damage on lava. Otherwise, I will not be able to complete that strategy. So that's why health is important, and that's why I was worried. So I took the herb, just in case I don't have enough health to do the strat. So that's not the intended way. The intended way is to pick up the mermaid's tears, which were available in a chest somewhere, but I did not pick it up. And throw them in the center of the volcano. Okay, nice. That's pretty cool. And 49 jumps is good. Yeah, it's just what I need. So, and when you throw the mermaid steers at the center of the volcano, you cool down all the lava tiles, so they are not dangerous anymore. But we are skipping that completely in the speedrun. So that's why. That's why it's important to have health, because I'm gonna have to go on lava and take a bunch of hits. Okay, now I need to kill all 5 enemies from this monster lair. 2. Taking damage. 3. 4. 5. There we go. Okay, I have enough health, so we don't need a herb. There we go. The herb is not equipped. Yeah, it's not equipped. It's still the dream roll which is equipped. I was afraid that I would consume the herb for nothing. There we go. Now I can die. Okie dokie. So let's talk to the 3rd mermaid statue that we just released. We released the path to Blester, the next island. And for that island I will need to get an item from a dolphin, one of the dolphins I also rescued. He's about to give me the Thunder Ring, and the Thunder Ring enables me to create a lightning bolt when I touch one of these golden blocks on Blester. It's going to be used just for one monster lair, to kill a bunch of metal Donkey Kongs that I cannot kill otherwise. So it's only required for one thing. Like a lot of items in this game, to be honest. Here it is. You have to equip it, otherwise it doesn't work. So let's just go. There's not much to talk about on the way, I guess. There's gonna be a bunch of monster lairs that we will ignore. Oh, and I'm sure I will hit level 9, right? I probably have too much experience. That death was really terrible. It screwed up so many things. Yeah, level 9 is at 5,800. I don't know if I'm gonna hit it too early, but it's very possible. Yeah, it's quite likely. Maybe I should have taken that. Okay, no, I didn't get any good gems, so no regrets skipping a gem. If one of the first 4 crabs gives you a good gem, you can try to kill the last one with magic and save a little bit of time. Now, shoutouts to Everhate, to the late Everhate for this strategy. I'm going to take some damage. Now that they are nicely gathered, I'll kill them. And get a level up, of course. Yeah, well, I had too much experience. And my placement for the Everhate strategy was not correct, by the way. But I'm slightly rusty on several things. Sorry about that. That's the effect of running too many games, is that you get slightly rusty on those. Yeah, this is a very, very bad Saint Else. Okay, anyway, let's go to the last area, which is the ghost ship, where the boss is located. Yeah, metal Donkey Kongs. That's exactly what they are. They are Donkey Kongs. Yeah, I could call them gorillas, but it's not as much fun. Yeah, rip Everhate. Maybe I should have called myself Everhate, actually. Well, that's what we do when we do the annual Soul Blazer races. It's in his honor. So yeah, Everhate was a speedrunner who really liked this game. He also used to run Dragon Warriors games on the NES, but he really liked Soul Blazer and he contributed a lot to the route. He held the world record and beat my time at some point. It was a while ago. And he created a lot of strategies for this. So we owe him. And unfortunately, he passed away at some point. So, the item I got in this chest was the power bracelet, which is a great item, because it basically doubles my attack power, just from the sword. Just the sword's attack power. But still, that's really, really powerful, especially against bosses. And it does double the amount of damage I do with the pokes, so that pokes are going to do 2 instead of 1. So that's great. That's really what you want. Whoa, dude. Come on, kill this man. It's not possible to kill this boss with just 2 passes. You need 3. Yeah, that was really not a good boss. He's still 5th. Yeah, easy. Yeah, he has a 140, like a really low 140. And it was a very impressive run because, well, it featured some new strats, but also he was ballsy enough to skip the light armor and the invulnerable bracelet, which is something we don't do. Even to this day, we just don't skip these items because it's way too risky, and it forces you into losing time because you have to be extremely careful with enemies. I don't even believe it's actually a good idea to skip them at all. But he did, and that was really impressive. Just completing a run without the light armor and without the super bracelet is not an easy thing to do. So yeah, that was quite impressive. And it's kind of old. It was like 4 years ago, I think. Yeah, 4, maybe 5, something like that. I think 4 years ago. And release all creatures. Okay, hopefully Act 4 is going to be a bit better than Act 3. We have a herb though. It's not going to be super useful though. It ends up being slower. Yeah, that's why I figured. You just need to be too careful for it to be even worth it. It makes sense for the task, but not for an RTA speedrun. Here I just manipulate them into following me in a nice pattern so that they become vulnerable just as they come close to my sword. There's a lot of just figuring out a nice pattern to kill enemies for each monster lair. This game is actually kind of nice and easy to learn, I think. Well, there's a lot to remember, but there's not too many difficult things to execute. Yeah, this game is a lot about memorizing how many enemies there are in each monster lair. But you gain that knowledge just by running the game repeatedly. After like 5 runs, you already know. I'm misaligned. Did I count? Is that the last one? No, that should be the last one. Okay. I heard the monster lair explode. Yes, that's the thing. There is a sword that we don't take in any percent, which is the critical sword, and it makes a critical hit every 16th frame. So it's not super useful for for a normal speedrun, but for a task you can abuse it extremely. I forgot to kill the Yeti on when I was sliding. I'm forgetting everything. There's one more. Yeah, this is pretty bad, to be honest. Has there been anything found? Just details. Really just details. Nothing has really changed the speedrun. At some point I stopped taking the super bracelet, and then I started taking it again because I managed to do faster strats for the World of Evil. Okay, here you need to talk to this fairy to come back to the to come back to the city, because you need to talk to this little guy. He gives you the mushroom shoes, and they are required to make one turn on the icy river. Just for one turn. It's preposterous, but you really can't skip them. Even in the task, I did not manage to find a way to skip the mushroom shoes. It would save so much time if we could, but it doesn't really seem possible. This game is too robust. Every time something is really required, it seems to be really required. Well, okay, maybe not the mermaid steers. That one is like loosely required. But mushroom shoes, nope, can't skip them. Yeah, I think Silver Star and myself came up with the latest strats, I think. And since we got our sub 135s, there's not been any new improvement that I know of. I don't think any new runner really joined. Go here to spawn this enemy early. This is actually a multi-spawn, but with a very slow rate, with a 5-second rate between 2 consecutive monsters. It's one of the slowest in the whole game. Yeah. There's one more. Come on. Should be the last one. Okay. Turtle, it was Everhate. Yeah, well, people have already responded, yeah. Now, very annoying enemies that you need to kill at a distance. These wizrobes. Because apparently Quintet likes wizrobes. Dang, I absolutely hate those guys. I still don't have a really reliable way of killing these guys. And when I find it, I forget it. Silver Star, really? Is that possible in the US version? I was pretty sure it wasn't. So that's a Silver Star strategy. The thing I was doing before is not as good as this. So shoutouts to Silver Star. Oh, and by the way, I did not mention it, but earlier I got the magic armor, which is extremely useful because it halves the number of gems required for magic. So now I can cast light arrows with just 4 gems a piece instead of 8. And that's extremely useful. Yeah, the icicles are pretty cool in the foreground. Here there's some hidden bridges, so let's get our first new weapon, Lucky Blade, and also let's re-equip the mushroom shoes. So Lucky Blade will increase our luck with gem drops. Well, it's supposed to. Okay. Alright. How many gems do I have? It's still kind of low, 33. Not great, but should be fine. Let's remember to equip the bracelet back, because we will not be needing the mushroom shoes anymore. Here we have to wait for some enemies to appear, but don't wait too much, otherwise the shots are going to make the game lag a lot. Alright. Okay, 46 gems, that's fine. And yeah, one other thing I haven't explained, the different swords in this game have a level requirement to swing them. So for instance, the Lucky Blade that I currently have equipped has a level requirement of 15, but I'm only level 12. I'm still allowed to equip it and I can poke with it, but I cannot swing it. If I press B, nothing happens. So that's one of the nice things about this game. Well, nice, interesting. You have a level requirement for swords, so I can only poke things to death. Fortunately, I will use magic for most enemies, so not being able to attack with swinging my sword is not really going to be an issue. Yet. It will later. And now we have unlocked the path to the second part of the dungeon, which is the second part of Lainol and Loon. Let's go. Oh, and the Lucky Blade is actually a required item. Not a lot of people know that, but that grandpa next to the entrance does not let you go through if you don't have the Lucky Blade, so it's required, just for that reason. Which is kind of lucky, kind of funny. But also lucky because, as it's a nice weapon to have, just for gem drops, it's nice that it's required, so we have a good reason to pick it up. In a way. Let's spawn the last one and kill him here. Was that the fourth? And that's the last one. I hope I did not make a mistake in doing this. This strategy is slightly faster, by like 1 second, compared to doing the two monster layers sequentially. But it's more costly in gems because I don't get the gem drops from these enemies. So I hope it was not a mistake. I'm gonna count on good gem drops now. So yeah, this is another Super Stars strategy, but I did not execute it very well. Okay, I got lucky. Okay, this is the next boss, which I'm gonna fight right away. Say hello to Poseidon. So if you don't move, his fireballs will just not hit you, which is cool. Hey, fireballs not hitting me. Look at that. It's pretty dumb, but yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I need 4 cycles to kill him. And there we go. And you get healed, so that's convenient also. But there's more things we need to do. This is not the end of this world, because okay, I have the king, but I also need the 2 grandmas with the king, which requires me to clear a whole bunch of monster layers, to clear a lot of paths in this area. So let's go with the bottom one first. This was not a lot of gems. Okay, that's a lot of gems. That's better. Oh, dude. Gems are really low. There's just one more here. Come Come on, give me more gems. Okay, thank you. I think I'm gonna pick this up. I'm gonna take damage because I intend to kill myself after this. Yeah, that was the last one. Good. Oh yes, yeah, people are talking about the Japanese version of the boss I just fought. So yeah, it's another censorship. In the Japanese version you don't fight Poseidon, but Medusa. So it's a female version with, well, large breasts. Large naked breasts, to be exact. So yeah, you guess that's a good reason to censor the boss into having a different appearance. In a real speedrun I would not equip that armor back, but it takes so little time to that might as well do it now. Now we need to talk to Gnome and get the 4th MacGuffin. And let's go to Dr. Leo's lab. So Dr. Leo's was the scientist who built the machine that King Magritte used to make his pact with the devil, with Death Toll. So he's involved in that, but he's also a victim because, well, he was forced to do that. Yeah, that's true, Parabex. You can go check a Japanese version playthrough if you want to see. So I still don't have level 15, so I cannot swing the sword. And as I killed myself, I did not have any gem, so I could not. I could not cast magic to kill them, so I just need to poke them to death. So this is an area which is pretty difficult when for beginners of the speedrun. I'm going to pick up the Zantetsu sword in that chest. The Zantetsu sword is required because it's the only way to defeat metal enemies, at least for now. And there's going to be a lot of them. But it has a level requirement of 16, which I don't have. So I will not be able to kill anything with magic or with sword slashes because I can't slash the sword. So I'm going to have to poke everything to death. And that takes some practice. Okay, not too bad. Okay, now that I have reached the level, I need to make sure I don't take too much damage. So I need to poke everything to death and try to keep some health, because I'm gonna need to take a lot of damage through lava later in the next room. Now he got time to jump. Yeah, those bulldozers do a lot of damage, so let's be careful. And now meet another really annoying enemy, the metal mice. They go very fast and they follow the contours of the layout. But they're pretty difficult to catch, especially since I cannot slash my sword. I have full health, so let's go ahead and do the skip from here. I'm gonna be hit 3 times by lava, but it's slightly faster. Ooh, that was not planned. It's okay though, it's okay. I can afford this extra damage. So in my PB, one of these mice escaped, and it wasted like 18 seconds. That was really bad. Okay, now none of them escaped. Let's equip the herb I got in Act 4, because we're gonna skip over a lot of lava and take intentional damage. can also skip through these guys. Yeah, health is not too good. Ah, didn't wait enough. Okay, two. Here I'm also multitasking layers. Three. 4. Okay, not too bad. I guess that's fine. Have to be careful though. Level 15 is pretty close, but still have to be careful. Let's kill those guys. Kill this also. Okay, have time to do the Silver Star strat of killing the bulldozers before making these mice appear. That's also a Silver Star strat. And make sure that the monster lair of the mice explodes before you seal this monster lair. Yeah, because that's an important thing of this game. It does not memorize the number of enemies that you have killed. It just memorizes the status of each monster lair. So if you have a monster lair where you have killed some people, but not everybody, and then you leave the room or get teleported out, you will have to re-kill everybody again. So there, if you killed the mice, but did not wait for the monster lair to be revealed as exploded, then it's not actually registered, and you have to do the thing again. You have to kill the enemies again. So you have to make sure that that doesn't happen. Oh, and now I have level 15, so I can slash with the Lucky Blade. And that is lucky, indeed, because in our next area there's not going to be any metal monsters, so we don't really need to slash the Zansetsu. So this is one of the funniest areas of this game. It's kind of unique. Yeah, I need to have more than 2. I need to have 4 to cast magic. Okay, so I can kill some of these archers. So these are model towns, and I'm fighting against tiny little enemies. So tiny soldiers, tiny archers, tiny horsemen, and also tiny war machines. Because yeah, that's a thing. And not only are they tiny, but they are invisible. There's going to be invisible war machines. So invisible catapults and invisible towers, which throw spikes of sorts. Oh, dude. Okay. I'm missing one gem, so I have to kill this by hand. And here, this is an invisible catapult. There's a door you can talk to, and it will give you the ability to see the invisible monsters. But again, that's a thing which is not really required for the speedrun. Don't make the game lag too much. Oh, I was supposed to kill that one. Here I'm taking care of several monsters. I haven't counted how many of these small guys I've killed there. Probably the last one? Yeah, okay. 31 gems should be enough for the next part. Yeah, this chest contains 50 gems, but I don't really need them. 31 is kind of low. Well, no, not even really. And second model town is going to be very fast, because in any percent you just need to clear out one monster lair from it. The one that gives me access to the power plant, which is in the basement of Leo's lab. There's a lot of other monster lairs here, but none of them is required, so we'll skip everything. And I have to kill 6 war machines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That should be good. Yeah, we got all of them. Nice. So I know how they are placed. It's some sort of square on the right, and then 2 which are aligned vertically and more further apart. And let's just die to get out of there and back to the entrance. Now we have level 16, so we can slash the Zantetsu. I will equip it again, but I will do that in the same menu as getting the light armor, because I'm about to get it. So we talked about it a bit earlier. That's the item which is not technically required, but so helpful that we can't really not take it. And now equipping this. Yeah, did not do it very well. Come on, don't take more damage than required. Oh yes, I will do the coward way. I will take the heal from the teleporter, as we used to do in the old strats, in the old days of running this. Because I'm not gonna fight the boss with little health, as we would in a real war record attempt. Yeah, I'm not gonna do all the crazy strats. So the real strat here is to just not do this monster lair. It reveals a teleporter. You would just go for the boss with little health, the little health that I have, and fight it, and hopefully win. And then just kill yourself on these helicopters. But the easier thing to do is to just reveal the teleporter so you get healed by the master, or by God. And then you can also use this teleporter to walk back after you beat the boss. I would have won. I would have won with the little health. Because you can afford 2 hits usually. It kind of depends though. It really depends on where the missiles land. Because they land randomly. If several of them land on top of you, well, you're probably going to be toast. Even if you can manipulate where the fireballs go, the missiles are random. So if you get unlucky, it's well, might be over. If you tried the difficult strat of fighting with little health. But anyway, the fact that I'm not taking the death here, I'm taking the teleporter. I'm also conserving gems, which is potentially going to be useful in the beginning of the next act. So now we're done with this act, I just need to go talk to Marie, the doll, and she will give me the 5th stone. The purple one, if I remember right. Thank you, Marie. Okay, 5 out of 6. Just 1 more to go. It's not going to be finished though, after that. There's still going to be some items to find, some searching to do, and a little bit of backtracking in order to really beat the game. So it's not going to be the end of it. What made you speedrun these ultra-long games? Well, it's not ultra-long. I just really enjoy those games. I started with Illusion of Gaia as one of my very first speed games, and I figured that I really enjoyed Soul Blazer, so I might as well learn it as well. That was in... I learned this game in 2014, I think. Yeah, back then, when I learned this, the world record was 143. Something by Genja23. He's not around anymore, I think. Okay, meet some of the most annoying enemies in the whole game. Yeah, they are very random in the way they work. Okay, that was good. I did not need to take too much damage. Yeah, maybe I can do a slightly fancier way for the next wave of ghosts. Yeah, if you go in a straight line, you reduce the probability that they will turn around and disappear. Because if you have them make turns, there's a much higher chance that they will disappear, and you don't know where they will reappear. They are very random. But if you manage to keep them in a straight line, they will take more time before they disappear. So there I was kind of lucky. I only had one disappearance, so that's pretty fine. Oh, and yes, there's invisible chests in this dungeon. You're supposed to come back and search this place with a soul, which enables you to see invisible things. But well, if you know where the things are, you don't need that. Well, I haven't seen Genya in a long time, so I don't know. I don't know what he's up to. But yeah, he hasn't speedrun Soul Blazer in a long time. So I think this is also a Silver Star strategy, I'm not sure, but possibly. I think I had another way of doing this. But yeah, it's just easier to fight these balls with your sword rather than with magic. Everhate had a nice strat for it though. It was really cool. But it's not that efficient. Okay, I'm gonna show a little glitch here. It was almost not worth it. What I wanted to show is the sword switch glitch. If you slash a sword for which you have the requirements, and then go to the menu and switch to a sword for which you don't have the level requirement, like the spirit sword, then you will effectively swing the new sword, even though you're not supposed to be able to. Now I'm dying, and I'm equipping the strange bottle to keep my gems through death. It's gonna be useful for later. So that's the sword switch glitch. It was not very useful though. I was trying to hit several of the ghosts, but well, didn't work too well, to be honest. Okay, we give him the harp string that we found earlier, so he can make his music. And when he plays his music, one of the guards is going to go to the front row because he wants to listen. So he will leave his spot, and it turns out that he was standing on a car. So now that he's moving, I can get the card. And that platinum card is required to enter the left tower, which is the next part of the dungeon. Don't forget to equip this back. 1, 2. And one more. Nice, okay. I still have some magic. Can kill everybody here. There's one more chess knight, and these guys are actually chess knights because they behave like chess knights. They move in the same way if you look closely. It's a really nice touch. I could have used some magic for them. Well, they have so much health that might as well not. Yeah, there's also the strategy of going back to the previous armor, so you benefit from the magic the halving the magic requirement, which can be good to conserve gems. But it really depends. Conserving gems only makes sense if you have a lot of them. You save a little bit of time here in the left tower, but not that much. It might turn out to not even be really all that useful. Okay, here you want to go through this mausoleum first, even though it's slower in terms of overall movement. Elmagus discovered that it's actually faster to do it like that way, because if you free Dr. Leo and then the guard next to him, you're gonna have to sit through a lot less dialogue than if you do them the other way around. It's pretty funny. There, the soldier doesn't say anything, but if you release the soldier and then Dr. Leo will tell you much more things. So you will eventually lose time. And now we're not going to use death to come back, because we have this conveniently placed gem fairy. You'd like to return, and yes, let's go back. Thank you. And now we have to talk to the queen we just released, and she's gonna ask us a pretty interesting question. Do you think I'm pretty? You have to say yes, and if you say yes, she's giving you something nice, which is the VIP card to enter the right tower. If you say no, she doesn't give you anything. She is that shallow. Oh, and by the way, I have level 19 now, so I can swing the Spirit Sword. Ah, I waited for nothing. This is a very long chain of mausoleums, but it's required because at the end of all that you will have you will get the castle, and the castle is required, otherwise King Magritte will not appear. And look, invisible stairs, but I know where they are, so. I'm not just going into a wall casually. There's hidden stairs there. There's a soldier you can talk to somewhere in the world, in this town, and he will give you the soul of reality, so you can see the invisible stuff. But again, that's not really required if you know where to look. Of course I will heal. Yeah, a real speedrun would try to not heal here and just go for the boss. So now we are going to be faced with a really long cutscene with Dr. Leo, where well, something not very nice is going to happen. He's repenting from his crimes. He regrets making that machine to call death toll, but he still has to work for King Magritte and Queen Magritte. So this is where usually I have a little game with my viewers. You can try to guess how many dives I'm going to get from the boss. So the next boss is a bird who has two patterns. The good pattern, which is the one where he breathes fire, so I can hit him a lot. And the bad pattern where he dives towards me and I can barely get one or two hits. And if I'm unlucky, I'm going to get a lot of dives. Usually, in average, it's going to be like 2 or 3 dives. If you get 0 dives, it's perfect. It sometimes happens. My PB actually has 0 dives, if I remember correctly. And it's possible to be as lucky as getting 22 dives, which is a record by Genja. Still him. He has the unlucky world record of this boss. Okay, we have 3, 8, 4, 6. Okay. 0, 0 by dawn. Hey, yeah, maybe it's gonna be 0. Let's see. Let's see who's gonna be right. I have a 5. First, I have to equip the key to start the blimp or whatever this ship is. 1 by Cyclotis Spoon. 7 by Escargot Express. Yeah, we have a lot of different values. Let's see who is right. Let's see who wins. Don't forget to equip this back. Oh, nice. That starts well. I need 2 of these patterns, so I need another one. 1 dive. Oh, 1 dive. And the answer is 1 dive. That's pretty lucky. Almost perfect. So congratulations, Psychotic Spoon, you are the winner with a correct guess of 1 dive. Congratulations, you win nothing, but you kick ass. And Jiggly Saint also with 1. I don't know how much delay there is, so I don't know if Jiggly Saint is actually cheating, having seen the answer. But yeah, the first correct answer I saw was Psychotic Spoon with 1 dive. So this is Lisa I'm talking to. She's the daughter of Dr. Leo. He sacrificed himself to save her, and she's in love with us. Please leave while my back is turned. This is the last sentence, so that's where you stop mashing to make sure you don't talk to her again by accident. And before talking to the king, or after, it actually doesn't matter, you can go to where the queen used to be, and there is a nice prize if you do that. The Super Bracelet, which accumulates the powers of the Power Bracelet and the Shield Bracelet. So basically it doubles my attack power and my defense. And that's quite priceless. That's a very valuable item. It takes some time to get. It takes, I think, 11 seconds. I timed it once, or 10 and a half. But it ends up being worth it because, you're just so much more powerful, and you don't have to. You can do harder strategies in the later parts, so that it pays for itself eventually. All right, we have all 6 MacGuffins. So let's go to the world of evil and kick some ass. I hope this can still be a sub 140, I'm not even sure. Or it should be a 139 maybe. Which, to be honest, is not a very good time, but I took a really bad death in World 3. Okay, World of Evil. Look at how beautiful it looks. Just need to kill some very annoying flies. They behave like the Thunderbirds in Act 3, except that they are only vulnerable when they are at the end of their little patterns. They're very annoying. Okay, let's first kill this guy, then this one. That's in the new strat for this. Oh, dude. And okay, we're good. That was pretty nice. This guy did not die. I did not manage to place the Magician's Orb perfectly between all 3. It's hard to do. So we cannot take out those rotating bricks yet, so let's just tank the damage. And here we're going to get the soul armor. Let's equip the soul armor. It increases our defense, and also let's equip the herb we got in the invisible chest of Magritt's castle. So now it's depleted. Okay, first we have to kill 6 of these guys. So that's second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Let's have him go with us. And here it is, and this is the Soul Blade. The Soul Blade is extremely powerful. It has a level requirement of 24 though, but it can kill those rotating bricks in one hit, and they are worth 4,000 experience points apiece. So there is a very, very nice grinding spot, which is this one, which you might have figured out if you played the game casually. You can grind here again and again and get 12,000 experience points just with these 3 bricks. And we need to do that because reaching level 24 to swing the Soul Blade is a requirement to beat the game. Because later in the game we are going to acquire the Phoenix magic, which is required to kill the boss, and it can only be cast if you can swing the Soul Blade. And the Soul Switch glitch does not work to cast Phoenixes, unfortunately. So I'm not gonna grind to the full level just yet. I'm just gonna grind until 374,000. Okay, that should be enough. And now I can go on my way. Yeah, that should be good. So now with the remaining enemies on my path, I will reach the 420,000 XP which are required to swing the Soul Blade. And as it is Soul Blazer, it's of course a 420,000 which is required. Isn't that beautiful? And yeah, the game is not beaten yet. We need to recover 3 red hot symbols, so that was the first one, in order to summon the Phoenix. And the other 2 red hot symbols are hidden in previous areas, so we need to do some backtracking right now. So if you remember, you probably didn't see it, but in Durian, the volcanic island, there was a lair of metallic Donkey Kongs, which we could not kill back then, but now we can. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm taking constant damage because I haven't equipped the bubble armor. I have the soul armor instead. The soul armor protects me against outer space, but it does not protect me against water, which is peculiar. And I'm taking a lot of damage intentionally because I will take a death to get out of there. Oh, need to equip the Soul Blade. Yeah, let's not be too efficient killing ourselves, please. It has happened countless times. You're preparing for a suicide and you die before you were supposed to. Okay, now we have done that, so we can die for real. I think so, Dr. Amamin. I calculated that for when I made the task, and I think it would be some seconds faster if it did work, but it doesn't, so it doesn't matter. Okay, this mermaid gives us the second red hot item, and I'm gonna go look for the third one in Act 2 in the Light Shrine. So in that shrine there were enemies that I called suns, because they look like suns, which are ghost-like enemies, so they can only be killed with the Spirit Sword or the Soul Blade. The Soul Blade kills everything, by the way. It can kill metal stuff, it can kill spirit stuff, and also it can kill other enemies that nothing else can kill, like the rotating bricks in Act 7. But also, it turns out it can kill some spike traps like the spears that come out of walls in this in the water shrine. It can also kill the snowballs in Act 4, surprisingly. It's not worth as many experience points as the bricks though. And there we have the level just with the last enemy, because it was very well calculated. So let's just come out here. And we have to talk to a bird. But that bird is very shy, so when we come over he's gonna shy away, and we have to talk to him from behind. Otherwise he will fly away again. It's not too hard to do, but it's very easy to fail, and if you fail it, you waste 15 seconds. So you should not. Okay, we got it. There you go. And that was the last red hot item. So we're going to take all 3 red hot items to the Mountain King, and he will summon the Phoenix. And with that, we will have everything. We will finally be in go mode. We have the soul armor, the soul blade, and Phoenix, and all 3 are required because you need the soul equipment to cast Phoenix in the first place. Oh, and be hype, because we're gonna see something pretty nice very, very soon. This is the first text that he's supposed to tell you. And he tells you anyway, even because we know it spoke to him in the first place. Be hype for the dancing grandmas! And we are in go mode! And now that the Phoenix is summoned, Death Toll's lair appears. So that's the very end, the final boss fight. Yeah, that's good, Silver Star. Dancing Grandmas. Yeah, thanks everybody. Dancing Grandmas are so hype. The hypest thing ever. Okay, who is hype for the final boss of Soul Blazer, Death Toll? Well, there's not too much to talk about, so we'll just go and see. The first phase is pretty ridiculous. There's really nothing to say. But we have level 24, because we did the grind pretty intelligently. So there's really nothing else we need. Yay! I won! Right? Right? Ah, there's another form. Yeah, the other form is quite similar to Dark Gaia in the IOG. So what you have to do here, he's gonna make 4 flames appear. And I need to kill the 4 flames, and then he's about to shoot 3 fireballs at me, and that's where he's vulnerable. And you want to shoot no more than 5 phoenixes, because any more would lag the game for no reason. And ideally you want to finish the fight in 12 cycles, because he has actually 100 HP. And yeah, that was not optimal, that was too far away. I have to manage my consumption of gems also. Yeah, that last one I'm not sure if it hits. You don't want to be casting phoenixes right away after you kill the 4th. Because it might not hit as much as you could. Yeah, ideally you're supposed to hit 9 times with 5 phoenixes. It's the most number of times you can hit in a single phase, and as he has 100 HP, you need at least 12 cycles to finish him off. Okay. Yeah, still a sub 138. Ah, that's better than I thought. Yeah, this time is not too bad considering I lost a huge amount of time in Act 3 due to a very bad death. Oh yes, there is a randomizer for this game which I made. Yeah, so I take a little bit of pride in that. And some people play it. It's pretty fun. You should try it. It randomizes enemies in monster lairs and what is released by monster lairs. So monster lairs can release pretty much anything in the whole world, not just in the region you're in. And that allows for a lot of possible routes. And also all the item positions are randomized. So you can try it out. It's a lot of fun. And Jintatsu has done a run of the rando earlier in this marathon, so you can check that out if you haven't. Thank you very much for the GGs, everybody. It's always a big pleasure to run these games at these awesome SNES marathons. Yeah, indeed, Sky Shadow. The third episode is Terranigma, and it was not released in the US. That's one of the games that we got here in Europe, and you guys didn't in the US. One of the very few. But well, I'm not gonna brag because we did not get any of the Final Fantasies. We did not get Chrono Trigger. We did not get Earthbound or Super Mario RPG, so there's tons of great games that we missed out back then. Yeah, if you want to play an official European English version, you have to play the European one. But there is a 60 Hz patch for the English version, so you can play it just as if it were US with the NTSC settings. Okie dokes. Well, I can let the credits run. I don't know how we are doing compared to the schedule, but I believe we were behind schedule. Yes. Yeah, we are actually quite behind schedule. So Lufia 2 is supposed to have started 22 minutes ago, so maybe I should cut right now. I don't know what Field wants me to do. Well, I'm going to keep with credits running, but let's see what the admins are doing with the marathon. So next we're going to have an Ancient Cave run of Lufia 2 by That's Fair Zach. That's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, DL Darkling. Our first Final Fantasy was 7 on PS1. We didn't in Europe. We did not get any other Final Fantasy before that. Hey, you're welcome, Mr. Tanuki. Always a pleasure to go to the SNES marathons and run some of my stuff. Alright, thanks Fiesel, I'm gonna sign out. Thanks everybody for watching, thanks for having me in the marathon, and good luck to the Lucia 2 runners. Yeah, I'm gonna say goodbye. Thanks a lot for watching my little blocks. Good luck to the next runners, and have fun rocking the SNES. That was the Hulk, signing out.